Let's do this. Still got plenty more.
We at Digital Dealer 23.
Here we go.
Tampa Bay.
Look who's here. Got a whole lot to talk about. And
That's right.
it's coming to you right after this.
That's right. Special
Cheers.
brew.
Here we go. What's going on, car guys and car gals? It's Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
And it's Fred Leonard, subprime hero.
And we are brewing solutions over here with the one,
The only Jason Mahoney.
Welcome to the show, brother. So glad to see you.
Oh, man.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. You know, we look forward to having you here. We've heard a lot of great things about what you do, about what you represent. We know that you work for a great auto group, but it's the people inside that auto group that make it special. So we're excited to have you.
Thank you.
Pumped up to share you with our audience. We're here at Digital Dealers in 2023, Tampa. Have you ever been to one of these digital dealers before?
Believe it or not, no digital dealer for me. Yeah, that's the first one. A few NADAs and things like that, but hey, it's the first time for everything.
First time for everything.
That's right.
Yeah.
First timer right here.
Jason, tell us a little bit and tell our audience a little bit about who you are, what you do, where you're from,
Yeah.
and who you get to really bring great solutions to.
Yeah, so I work with Carter Myers Automotive, based mostly in Virginia, a few stores in West Virginia, soon to be Maryland. Years ago, I was Liza Horse's Honda rep, Carter Myers Honda rep years ago. So we go way back, and about the last decade or so, I've been involved in automotive marketing specifically, and then had an opportunity to join, like you said, such a great organization, great people. Liza, I tell people all the time, Liza's a unicorn. I don't know how she gets done what she gets done in a day, but she does. So
And a little one, like a little fireball of power and wisdom,
amazing,
and care and love and knowledge. Yes,
it's all real. She's
the
the real deal. Yeah. So, and she's built a culture and a team kind of around her principles and the company's principles. It's just a fantastic place to be. So
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. Cheers to you, Liza.
Cheers to you, Liza. She has been on our show before.
Cheers to you.
Cheers. Yeah, cheers.
Right.
Cheers.
So, Solutionaries, as you know, well, if you haven't heard of Carter Meyer Automotive, well, check it, Google it. Okay, check it out, find that out.
Just Google that, find it quick.
There's a lot of moving pieces. There's a lot of moving parts. A lot of different people, a lot of different brands, a lot to mesh together.
Yes.
How do you start to differentiate what it is that you're looking to bring back to the stores as you're at an event like this, especially being it's your first time?
Yeah, so for us, we're always looking for things that are scalable across the group that we can. We're trying to have fewer and deeper vendor relationships, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And we're trying,
yes.
people, and you know what culture means to our company and to stay on top of Carter and Liza, but companies that understand what we're about and we're involved in the community and a lot of things outside of just selling and servicing cars. So it starts with scalability across the group and that people could be one of the fewer and deeper vendor partners to where they understand what we're about. Not just, can they execute a campaign or something like that. So I'm always thinking about the scalability of it. You run into things where an OEM program says you need to be doing this, that, or the other. So there's some nuance to all of it, but generally I'm trying to find ideas and solutions that are kind of at the forefront, but that can scale across the group. Multiple brands, there's 18 brands and 23 locations. So you're trying to make sure it can fit that the challenges of all those as much as possible.
Wow, I love that you guys think that way because it's hard to just implement at one place and then everyone. So if you can find a way to make it to where it works for everyone, it doesn't have to be identical for everyone, but it has to be usable for everyone. That makes it much more.
That's the key. It's not a cookie cutter.
No, it can't be.
So that's not what's being said, but the idea that there's the flexibility across it that a Subaru dealer in Stanton, Virginia can benefit from it like a Honda dealer in Richmond, Virginia, or whatever it may be.
That's awesome.
And so for vendors that are out here that are talking to multi-rooftop dealers and representatives, is that ever like a deal breaker? If it's something that wouldn't work inside of a Subaru store, but it works inside of the Ford store or the Nissan store, is that ever something that would impede a decision for you all to move forward with?
It's a really good question. So I would say one thing, I don't like absolutes.
Right.
So I don't like every time so I would say it would not completely impede something. It would be a hurdle, it would be a conversation. But I think ultimately you really have to, if it's still a good fit culturally and everything else, but for whatever reason, and I'm coming up with a great example, but it just niched to a certain manufacturer, then you got to have those conversations. You got to hear it out, because the best solution may not be the one you already have, and it may be one that possibly doesn't scale across the group. But I think as a starting point, perfect world, it'll scale across our whole group. But yeah, I think you got to listen to everything. That's why we're in places like this with experts around and try to learn something new. So sometimes you have to go backward to go forward, in the sense that you may have to work with more new partners to get to a point where you have fewer and deeper relationships, right? Because you may not be with them today.
Wow.
That's going to be the one that impacts tomorrow. So I think you got to be open to all that.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
It's good to know.
I love that, and I love that you don't like. You're never going to say that's a definite. You like to be open to things. It may be a challenge, but it doesn't mean it's impossible.
Yeah.
That it doesn't mean they're not going to listen to it. It doesn't mean that they can't find something that is valuable from there and maybe do some business with you. But the thing is, and I love that you guys are like that, because you want to include everyone. You want everyone in your groups to feel like, hey, we're giving you all love. Everyone's going to have an opportunity to grow with this new idea, this new product, this new person, or whatever it is.
Right.
We're all going to benefit from that. That is what true family is, and I love that you guys do that.
Yeah, and the thing that, and I think any of the operators that are out there would say this, that their days are so consumed with trying to run a dealership and have hundreds of employees depending on the size of the store, and there's always things that our general managers and executive managers are dealing with that, frankly, I don't know how they get done in a day. And the way I look at our team internally is to support them. And so if that's vetting through some vendors and they say the problem is this, we could say, here's 3 great solutions we've looked at. We've talked to referrals. Their pricing model fits for the scale of our group. We'll set up the demo, and then they can focus on what they really want to be doing, and not everybody that's knocking on the door. So I think our job is to help sort through that, right, and make their life as easy as possible.
I love that, and I love that, because that's ultimately what you want, because you want to give them options. Say, hey, this is all you have. No, look, here's 3 ones. Look at these. Here's the cost values. All these fit within your budget. You read through and tell me what you would implement.
Yeah,
let's make that happen. I love that. That's great.
Absolutely.
A big piece of being able to fuse all that together is, of course, getting your people on board.
Yeah.
So making sure that when you do bring in solutions and you do bring in new tools, new shiny balls, all that cool stuff, y'all know what I mean, that your people take it on very well. Now, you all have a culture, a healthy culture that's able to embrace change and be able to go in that direction.
Yeah.
Usually, what does it look like when something does get implemented? Like if something new is coming, what does it usually look like when we try to get the teams involved? What's Carter Meyer's approach to being able to make sure that everybody takes that on and takes the ball and carries it together?
Yeah. So that's a great question. I'll give you an example that'll probably sum it up for you. Recently, we implemented where our used cars are shared across the group, right?
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, it probably should have happened before now, but there's a lot of hurdles you don't think about till you go to implement that. In terms of, I'm in this car, right? And so there had
I'm the one who bought this car. I want to sell it.
Yeah. Everybody's calling me about my cars, and it's all fair, right? Because those people are in the positions they're in because they're winners and they want to win. And so what we had to do, and this is part of the culture, is we built a used car task force that included individuals from every market that weighed in on how this was going to go down, so that everyone had a voice in how it went together before we rolled anything out. So it's not a top-down, you're going to do this. And you guys already know, Liza, that's not our style, right? So that was never going to be the case. But what we did is people who would be involved in that process, from used car acquisition to even executive managers, general managers, they had a voice in the conversation. And all that got vetted before it was to the point, okay, now we're at an execution phase. This is why we're going to do it. So I think the culture is everyone
together.
We're going to do it together, and all ships rise with the tide. And we've done what we can to help them see the benefit of all that. And,
I love that. I love that you guys do that.
But it doesn't surprise you because you know Liza, right?
That kind of stuff doesn't surprise me, but at the same time, it's. I think to the average car person out there, if you didn't know that culture, you'd be like, really, they do that?
Yeah.
It would be kind of like, that's not what we're used to. That's so not car dealership. It is.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be, and that's the way it's going to be. So get on board, y'all. If you guys want to have amazing people work with you that will stay and last with you and grow with you and build something more than just a business,
Yes.
to change your communities, to change people's lives. I see the salespeople that you guys have worked there and the posts that they put out and the way their lives are impacted and changed because they have a clear path,
owner, right?
but they also know where they're going. They know
right.
how to get to the next level. It's not, there's no question there. They keep everything transparent to their clients, to their employees, to everyone, even the OEMs. They're going to make sure everything is clear, transparent, that there's no issues. That's phenomenal, and that's what CMA is all about, and that's what you guys are doing, and I think it's great. Man, that's awesome news.
Yeah.
I mean, no surprise, but it's awesome news.
No surprise, but the thing is, from the outside, you always wonder, like, is it really like that? And I've known Liza for years, like I mentioned, and Scott Simons and some of the other people within the organization. I can just tell you, it's the real deal. Right?
It is.
It is what it is as advertised. So,
everyone I know that's there tells the exact same story.
It's an amazing place to be.
And we can see that as evidence. One, because as great as it is over at Carter Meyer and what it is that they're doing for the community and for the industry as a whole, because they're a staple of what it looks like to really pull it together in the industry. But we have somebody here. Jason, you're here for the first time.
Yeah.
You're still looking to improve.
Absolutely.
You're still looking to keep growing.
That's right.
Because the biggest room in the world is the room for improvement.
That's right.
Yeah. We can all grow. And when we keep putting ourselves inside of that room where we then jump inside of other rooms that we haven't been in before, like this one, we start to find new solutions, new ways to get better because we can constantly get better. And that's part of the keep growing mantra, which we do have. A little bit of a combination for that. It's 3 F's. We drop some F-bombs on the
We do drop F-bombs. We do. That's a good time to put that down, my friend.
We are going to stretch out, and this is something, you guys have this inside of your culture. Liza did it with us before too. But where you guys easily forgive if it doesn't work out, doesn't come together, market's not right, people aren't right,
That's right.
COVID shows up, right? Forgive. And then after that, we have the opportunity to focus. And then we stretch out and we fly and we keep growing over time.
Right.
So we're going to do it loud and proud over here for the first time at Digital Dealer and for the first time on the Car Guy Coffee Podcast. Jason Mahoney is going to forget focus fly with us, everybody. Let's go. Hands on the shoulders one time. And on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Forgive. Focus. Fly and keep growing. Keep growing.
That's right.
Let's
Knock
go.
that out. Heck yeah. All right, Car Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We have so much more to brew with you at Digital Dealer 2023.
That's right.
Can't wait to have some more fun with you over here in terrific Tampa. But until our next episode, I am Lou Ramirez, the Car Guy.
And I'm Frelin Arts, subprime hero.
And you've been brewing solutions on the Car Guy Coffee Podcast with the one,
the only Jason Mahoney.
That's right, everybody. We will see you soon.
Peace.
All
right.
You guys be blessed.